Lithuania in the finals, should they get there after a dominant performance from Lithuania. 88-64 win over Italy. Well, the crowd will be introduced to Team Mexico, who are seeking their first Olympic berth since 1976. They fought hard over the last Olympic qualifiers, but haven't been able to punch their ticket to the games. This, a very veteran unit, and a mix of young that have infused this team and gotten them here to the semifinals. A win over Bahrain, a tough loss against Lithuania. We see Mexico here getting set to take on the host nation. Well, Puerto Rico being introduced to the home crowd now. They're 2-0 through group play. They earned the first spot in their group and a date with their America's rivals in Mexico. These two teams have been playing each other since the 60s, 1960 to be exact. And it feels like every time there's a big tournament, a big moment, they're going to cross paths. It's Mexico, it's Puerto Rico from El Choli Arena. Win or go home, a chance to move on to the Olympic qualifying tournament finals and take on Lithuania. The starting lineup and the tip-off, moments away, but first, the national anthems.
Estaremos comenzando con el himno nacional de México. Y por interpretar el himno de Puerto Rico, les presento y fuerte el aplauso para Yaine.
La tierra de Borique, donde he nacido yo, es un jardín florido de mágico primor. Su cielo siempre nítido le sirve de arrullos plácidos, las olas a sus pies. Cuando a sus playas llegó Colón, exclamó lleno de admiración: esta es la linda tierra que busco yo. Es Borinquen la hija del mar y el sol, 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 del mar y el sol.
Muchas gracias, Yaire. Una voz espectacular y el saludo oficial esta noche.
Big game feel, big game atmosphere. As the players exchange gifts, which is tradition here in FIBA. They'll go back to their respective benches and prepare for this basketball game. El Choli Arena, largest indoor venue here on the island of Puerto Rico. The only place that could possibly hold this FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. Big stakes at hand, a chance at the finals, and a date with Lithuania tomorrow night. Big game calls for big game officials with an opportunity to meet those in just a moment. Johan Rosso, Andres Bartel, Carlos Peralta from France, Uruguay, and Ecuador. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carlin Gay alongside former Canadian national team member Javon Shepard. All right, Shep, we got a chance to see Mexico. They got a big win against Cote d'Ivoire, and here they are, the starting five.
You're going to need a big effort, a concerted effort, a group by committee, you know, today against Puerto Rico, because you're playing against an invisible six-man as well. So you need Jaime to step up. You need Giron to step up. Joshua Barr right here, he's the guy for this team right now. 20 points per game right now, shooting just under 60%, 8.5 rebounds. And he's going to have a tough matchup. He's got to be prepared and read the game early, because he's going to have to match up against Romero. He's going to have to match up against Condit. But I think he's up for the challenge, and he knows if that ball goes inside, and he starts getting off to an aggressive start early, he can create an advantage, shut the defense in, and now give his teammates a chance.
Omar Quintero, the head coach for Mexico, trying to complete the task at hand. 2 wins away from the Olympic Games. On the other side, the rival Puerto Rico. Here's the starting five.
We have Alvarado in that lineup, Tremont Waters, so tremendous guard play, but it's an emotional group. You know, they're going to play for this crowd, they're going to play through this crowd. And I think that's a special environment to play in, when you can play in front of your friends, your family, and your entire country. Jose Alvarado, he had himself a tremendous game. You know, started out slow the first one, got himself into some foul trouble, but he's coming off a game where he had 29 points, and 21 of those 29 came from the three-point line. He did a good job of letting Tremont Waters navigate and orchestrate the offense and find him in those corners, obviously make some tough ones, but this is a guy that's going to get up a high volume of threes, capable of knocking him down like we've seen. Now can he repeat that tonight? He plays with energy, plays with heart, he plays with soul, and he has a couple dance moves in there as well.
Nelson Colon, the head coach, was consistent with this program, took over as the head man in 2021. Well known here in the BSN, a 4-time champion. He would love to get Puerto Rico to the Olympic Games. Once again, they have not been there since 2004. Countdown to tip-off presented by Tissot. Inside of a minute to go. Battle in the Americas. Earlier today, we saw a battle. 2 European teams, Italy falling to Lithuania, so we know Lithuania is waiting patiently for the winner of this one. They'll see them tomorrow night in the finals.
What we saw from Lithuania was depth. We saw a team that went 10, 11, 12 deep that can really beat you up and beat you down. Now these two teams from the Americas, contrasting styles. Puerto Rico, energy, high-octane guard play. In Mexico, you know, Paul Stoll, who's been the heart and soul for this team, manning the point guard position. Navarro inside, but both these teams want to get up and down, a bit more finesse, a bit more skill than what we've seen earlier with Lithuania. And a bit more one-on-one play, might I add. You see the contrasting styles between, you know, continents and how they teach the game, how they play the game.
See a good big man matchup as well in the middle between George Condon and Joshua Ibarra.
It's time to roll.
For the 23rd time, Mexico and Puerto Rico. This time the stakes, a berth in the finals. The Olympic qualifying tournament in 2024. Puerto Rico get the first possession. Waters in the paint, tried to find Romero early, but that pass goes awry, and here's Paul Stoll. Ron, you talked about the guard play throughout this tournament. We're going to see a good matchup between Stoll, Alvarado. And don't forget about Waters.
Can't forget about Waters. 12 assists last game. He's the one that sets everything up for everybody.
Kind bounce here on the road for Jaimes, who knocks down his first triple. Fabian Jaimes appearing in his 25th game as part of the senior national team. As part of that core group that has been together through multiple efforts to try and get to the Olympic Games. This feels like the last time that this core will have that opportunity to do so. Pinero misses inside. Here's Paul Stoll. No one's played more international basketball in this tournament than that man right there. 90th appearance for senior national team member Paul Stoll. Josh Ibarra, we highlighted him off the top with a nice footwork inside.
Good job. He can finish over right shoulder, over left shoulder there. He took 2 dribbles to the middle against Romero. Just knows Romero has the quickness and then turned over to that left hand.
Ibarra averaging 20 points per game. And Alvarado gets things going with a floater.
And that's where they're going to attack Ibarra, right? They know that in the pick and roll, he's not going to be able to step up and be aggressive. So Alvarado, Tremont Waters are definitely going to look to attack those in mid pick and roll.
Speaking of Waters, he's trying to defend Rodriguez inside, and Rodriguez is making his senior national team debut in this tournament. And this is his 3rd game. He's looked poised and good. I mean, he is 36 years old, but to get a senior national team start that late in your career, that's not an easy task. You're still kind of a rookie, right?
He's still a rookie, right? And I imagine the first time he put on that jersey, or realized he was going to be hearing Alvarado attack, drawing the foul. The first time that he put on that jersey, there was some jitters, there's some nerves, right?
Alvarado, you see grimacing from the paint south of the border. He gets to the line here and knocks down the first free throw. I mean, he was terrific in game number 2. We could talk about the 29 points. We could talk about the 7 made threes. But he was the emotional leader.
Yeah. Yes, and that really, charged his team up. And what I want to see tonight, and you had mentioned it as well, they're not the underdog anymore, right? So that same emotion when the pressure is on as the big dog, how do you channel that? How do you manifest that?
Stoll inside Ibarra. That 2-man game of Stoll and Ibarra has been impressive here.
Ibarra on the move this time, right? Moving his feet. Good catch, good finish.
Quick trigger there by Alvarado, goes awry. Stoll moves up the court. Iran was quiet in game number 2 in the win over Cote d'Ivoire. He can get going. Be a nice 3rd option for Mexico. Rodriguez. Rolling dervish to the rim, can't get it to go. Waters will push the other way. Alvarado for 3. Off the mark. He's missed his first 2 3-point opportunities. And then a foul in the backcourt. Smart move by Stoll, getting in the way of Condon. Condon, we know, struggled with foul trouble in the first half against Italy.
That young guy, sometimes you can see the experience in some of the fouls that he picks up. And Mexico, talk about how they're looking to attack. They're trying to find the mismatch between Waters, whoever has the size advantage, between Waters and Alvarado, get in the post of those perimeter guys.
Stoll, Ibarra. 2 go to Stoll. He finds Jaimes for 3. Fabian Jaimes now, his 2nd 3-pointer to start the game. Good start for Mexico here.
Great start, great start. And also taking the crowd out of this building, taking the energy out of the building.
Tripping foul there as Waters, so shifty, trying to split the defense there. Fouls on the floor. It's the 2nd team foul for Mexico. There's not much space there, but Waters is going to find the angle to try and sneak through.
We've seen that a couple times, right? He's always trying to split the screens, and it almost seems like there's just a sliver, and he finds his way between the defenders.
Alvarado, the Condit, gallops down the lane. Stoll came away with it.
Ibarra a little bit more aggressive on that screen there, taking away the space for the pass.
We've seen different coverages out of Ibarra throughout this tournament. He's been in drop, he's been up against it. Ball given away there by Fabian Jaimes. And Romero able to put in 2.
Tremont Waters, so unselfish, so unselfish. Alvarado makes that pass in transition. He could have took a rhythm pull-up three, but no, he gets his big man involved.
Ibarra, left-hand jump hook, overshoots it. Waters gets by Stoll, and Stoll takes the foul. I saw Waters trying to put his big into trouble, and he didn't want to get his big in the deep end of the pool, really, essentially.
Right, and Waters, again, smart in transition. The first time we've seen him make that play, but Mexico does a good job matching up in transition, and knowing that he has Paul Stoll on his heels, he attacks and picks up that foul, forces the foul.
There are players who are fast, which Waters is tremendously quick, but he knows how to change gears.
Yes. And those guys.
Boom! As Waters knocks down his first three. Again, changing gears, being able to find that open space.
Because the defense is at your mercy, right? If you're going one gear, that's easy defense. But when you're stopping, going, you have the defense on the heels, there's no defense left.
You're on for three. Drills it.
It's good to see Huron and Harmaz with a good early start.
Shot goes in and out. Romero on the cleanup. He can't get it to go. He had a number of offensive rebounds in the win against Italy, but it always felt like he was leaving money on the table by not cashing out point-blank range.
Yeah, just that wasn't able to make some of those chippies. That's more of a touch thing, right?
Rodriguez for three off the mark. Ibarra battling inside. Possession goes to Pinero. Pinero trapped. Waters perfect spot, but then he gave it away. Oh, they're going to call a kick ball. It went off of Jaimez's knee, but I don't think he made a kicking motion. Regardless, Ryan Rosso says it's Puerto Rico basketball. Inbound on the baseline. Stoll still looking for an explanation. You see Coach Colon barking out orders from the sideline. That's Waters turning the corner. Romero inside. Counted in the foul.
There it is. We're just talking about it, right? You want to finish bunnies and little chippies around the basket. Tremont Waters, you get a deflection on it. He picks it up. Loose ball. Okay, boom. 2 dribbles. Lamy. Showing some skill, showing some finesse. Little English on that roll.
Cheyenne Romero, a poor free throw shooter. So this is always an adventure when he goes to the line. He plays for Nets here in the BSN and has become a star. Defected from Cuba, became a Puerto Rican national, and one of the fan favorites as a star here in Puerto Rico in the BSN and for the national team. And Ibarra left early, so he'll get another opportunity at the foul line. See the focus here on this free throw line for Romero. They leave early again. Coach Quintana, well aware of what it means to play against Puerto Rico. Rivalry that dates back to 1960. He's played it himself. In fact, got into it with the GM of Puerto Rico, Carlos Arroyo. Those two put hands on each other in a game.
A little static. A little static if you have it.
Romero, third time's the charm, cashes out on the free throw.
We've seen a little of that earlier between Fournier and Dennis Schroeder, France and Germany.
They were playing in a friendly, warming up for the Olympic Games. Two teams that are already scheduled to play in Paris. These two teams hoping to join them. Romero picks up the foul. So 3-point lead here for Mexico. It'll be Stoll. No look pass Ibarra. The floater not there. Here's Alvarado. Alvarado finds Romero inside. The playmaking of Alvarado and Waters is going to be so key to whatever Puerto Rico does offensively.
It's so tough to guard, right? Because both of those guys, it's not just one. Double threat, two-headed monster.
No bucket, offensive foul going the other way as Condit steps in and takes it on the chest. And the crowd rises to their feet here in El Choli.
At that point, to your point just before, it doesn't matter if Condit gets a rebound, if Romero gets a rebound, if Panera gets a rebound. Those guys have two outlets in both Waters. Both Alvarado can get in transition, and they can create, they can pass, they can score. It's like the defense is it's such a compromising position. And then if you have one of those guys on the weak side, both of them can knock down the three.
Waters kicks it out. Condit for three. Off the mark. He's trying to add that to his game. This past season in the G League, he struggled from three, shooting in the high 20s and in the BSN in the low 30s. But he's trying to take that three-point leap. Jaimez drills another three.
Somebody's got to find him. You've got to find him right now because he is 3 for 3 from that line.
How did Alvarado get that to go? That was magical.
Here he goes with the dancing. I keep telling you, he's showing us everything. He's showing us his bag, his duffel. Here you go, big fella. I'm too strong, and I have too much skill. Look at that. Height off the glass, cross step, and just scooped it up in the air.
Highly emotional player in a good way, though.
Oh, yeah. He gets you charged up. He gets you charged up. That energy just permeates throughout the team when he, and this entire building, right? When he gets into it and he starts energizing everybody, you have to give 110%.
Now up to 7 points after completing the three-point play. In game number 2 against Italy, he came off the bench, and Coach Colon talked about just his unselfishness in coming off the bench as Jaime steps into another three, no good. Gutierrez gets the rebound and finds Rodriguez. Mexico just poised right now.
Yes, yes, and relentless offensive rebounds. We've seen that Lithuania killed Italy on the offensive glass in that first game. Puerto Rico watch any of that, they know that you got to keep Mexico off the glass.
Reads three, not there. Offensive rebound, Toro. Waters for three. That's off the mark. Stoll directing traffic now. He's got to get over the timeline. Just does. Hiron. He's already hit 1 3. Gotta pay attention to him on the perimeter. This is Hiron for three. It's off the mark. Condit vacuums that in. Waters crosses the timeline, uses the Condit screen, weaving through traffic. Tried to get it back inside the Condit, and Gutierrez comes away with the steal.
Mexico's done a good job of getting deflections and getting steals in this opening quarter to force 3 Puerto Rico turnovers.
Let's see if they can take advantage of the turnover. Stoll for three. Can't get it to go. Saw some space coming off that screen. Waters looking to dance. Waters as Rodriguez chasing him. Condit inside. Tough layup. Not there. Toro taps at it. It comes out to Waters for a fresh 14. Rodriguez and Waters still doing battle. Waters for three.
Oh, boy.
That was cold from Tremont Waters.
You can't play better defense there.
Now Waters having to defend Rodriguez on the other end. Stoll has it. Uses the Gutierrez screen. Jaimez is playing well here to start this game. Give Fabian Jaimez now 11 points and counting. Alvarado is tapped out of bounds by Jaimez. We'll have some subs for Puerto Rico. Jordan Howard checks into the game, number 3, and Chris Ortiz, the captain of this squad, 32 and white. Fabian Jaimez with 11 points, leading the way for Mexico. Andriassi checks in for Mexico. First time we see him tonight. So the Alvarado triggering this inbound with 17 seconds on the shot clock. And 9:17 remaining in the first. Here's Howard. Mexico go to the zone. Alvarado try to shoot him out of it. Toro with an offensive rebound. Howard for three. Ortiz with the offensive rebound. Fifth chance for Puerto Rico. Howard looking to dance on Giron. Loses control of the ball. Giron diving for it. Reed puts it up. Shot clock violation. And Giron gets up with a fist pump.
Gotta love it, right? He sacrificed himself diving on the floor over here. Puerto Rico just couldn't figure out scrambling, and you know, you made a point earlier with the crowd sometimes are working against you. I don't think Puerto Rico realized that the shot clock was winding down. You can't hear one another say it either.
Offensive rebounds, 8 for Puerto Rico. They average 10 in the tournament. Stoll, step back three. That's cold. Paul Stoll.
Wee.
5-point lead for Mexico. About a second difference between shot and game clock, and Alvarado's going to take his time here as he stands on the logo. Rejects the Toro screen. Snakes the dribble. Gutierrez got a hand to it. Time for Mexico to get a look. It's Jimenez. Didn't get it off in time. And that's how we end the first quarter. Mexico throwing the first punch here in the first period. They lead by 5. And a winner go home game. The numbers from the first 10 minutes of play. Red hot 3-point performance so far from Mexico, 56% from the team. Puerto Rico, on the other hand, missing some easy looks inside. They find themselves in a 5-point hole. Let's take a look at some of the best images from the first quarter. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the Courtside 1891 app. Streams, schedules, scores, so much more. The FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament and beyond. Courtside 1891, your home for FIBA basketball. Moments away from the start of the second quarter in a 5-point game. The host nation, Puerto Rico, battling with Mexico. Mexico in front, throwing the first punch. They led throughout. It'll be Mexico basketball to start the period. What'd you like from Mexico so far in the game of the league?
Well, I like how they're defending those two guards. They're doing a good job of getting over the ball screens and getting back in front of them, not putting too much pressure on Ibarra and you know, the rest of their bigs in their big rotation, right? So I really did like that. Obviously, they shot the basketball exceptionally well, just under 60%. But is that going to continue? Maybe not law of averages, but that defensive effort can.
They forced Puerto Rico into 5 first-quarter turnovers. They've been able to get shots to fall offensively. That time, no good. Gutierrez lucky enough to get his own miss. And a fresh 14 for Mexico. Here he is on the roll. Good pass. Giron for 3. That's a good look, but can't get it to fall, and Toro will clear.
Great look.
Jordan Howard. Jan Clavella on the floor for the first time tonight. 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico, all coming off the bench this evening. Clavella for 3. Can't get it to fall. Another offensive rebound for Puerto Rico. That's what's keeping them in this game.
Dangerous part for Mexico is that offensive rebound, 10 offensive rebounds for Puerto Rico. If they start knocking out shots, it's a problem. There we go. There it is. There it is.
Knocks down the three. The 5 on the floor for Mexico. Jaime Stoll, Andriassi, Giron. Gutierrez in the middle. This is Andriassi. Knifing his way in. Slapped out of bounds. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Mexico to work with here.
Andriassi's got to move that basketball a little faster because right now, Toro's a bit higher on that ball screen. Timon is smaller defender, but quicker, so he's going to move his feet a bit more. So you got to get that ball swinging. Can't stick.
Andriassi for 3 off the back iron. Reed pulls it down. It'll be Howard. Slips it to Ortiz. Good ball movement. Clavel again for 3. They can't get it to fall. Howard thought about it. He'll penetrate and float it instead.
Last two baskets for Puerto Rico, a byproduct of offensive boards. All right, so you got to put a body. You're playing some good defense. Got to put a body. We've seen that in the first game as well.
Legassi's layup attempt, no good. It's last touched by Puerto Rico. Never touched the rim, so there'll be 10 seconds on the shot clock for Mexico to work with. Mexico looking for their first field goal here in the second quarter. Stoll turns the corner, runs into traffic. Andriassi uses the up fake. Now tees for 3. Off the mark. Jaime inside. A couple taps at it. Can't get it to fall. Ortiz clears. Howard. Nice move. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
You don't get a break with these Puerto Rican guards. There is no break for the defense of Mexico. You have Alvarado and Waters on the bench right now, and Howard so shifty. You see right to left. Stoll just left Stoll in quicksand. And he can shoot it too. He can really shoot that thing. But they always have you on their heels. As soon as that ball gets to one of those guards, you're in a dangerous spot because they can really fill it up.
Howard comes from a very athletic family. His dad, Chuck, played football at the University of Indiana. His brother is the all-time leading scorer at Marquette, Marcus Howard. Marcus playing now at Basconia after spending some time in the NBA. And he helped Puerto Rico win gold at the U17s in Spain in 2016. Now big brother Jordan trying to get Puerto Rico to the Olympic Games. The first time in nearly 20 years. Clavel. This is Howard for 3. Boom! Right on cue, you just mentioned it. A great shooter, and he banks a 3 to send this crowd into a frenzy.
Yo estoy buscando quién ponchó su pasaporte a la aventura. Enséñame el ponche, enséñame el ponche.
Mira, verifícalo bien, chequealo bien.
No, enséñaselo a la cámara ahí. ¿Cuál es tu nombre y de qué pueblo visita?
Aquí es San Juan.
Ok, si tú necesitas llevar a alguien a turistear por la isla, ¿a dónde lo llevas?
Triple. Y si no, atacas a las
Se
clavas.
va a Rincón, niña, para que tú sigas turisteando y explorando.
¡Y al rebote!
Pregúntale por qué coge Rincón.
¿Por qué Rincón?
¡Loco!
Bueno, ver el sol será ahí.
Si no, Manny,
Oye, el romántico,
¡se abre aquí!
un pasadía en
¡La pasa! ¡El ball!
gracias a la compañía de turismo de Puerto Rico.
¡Sale por el lado de Irra!
En su casa por la
¡Fabián!
aventura y
¡Fabián!
Oye, en verdad, Rincón es el
Defense leading the offense for Puerto Rico. Look how much space a great shooter has to set the puppies and let it fly.
Reed, 17-year-old. Pick your pocket, Lopez. This is different level now. Kicks it up the court, Clavel. Good job. Penetration on the baseline. Howard, kick out. Knock me down.
Such great rotation on that ball. Always on balance when he takes his shots, even if it's off the dribble.
Solid. Gets under the rock. He gets great elevation into his jump shot.
So Puerto Rico now responding to Mexico in their start. Run of their own. They'll take a 5-point lead after they started this quarter down by 5. See how Mexico responds. You mentioned the youngster, the 21, 17-year-old, Kareem Lopez, on the floor for Mexico, had a great game in a win over Cote d'Ivoire. Here he is taking a 3. It's off the mark. Ortiz at the rebound.
I'll tell you what, I respect him. Right, even on the first possession he had, turned it over, but just the courage to try at this level, this stakes of this game, to try and get into his package. And then that shot there, he's not afraid. Courageous kid.
Howard pulls. Rebound Jaimes. Stowe crosses the timeline. Stowe stakes the dribble. Draws 2. Lopez is open for 3.
Come on. Come on. He believes in himself.
I'm starting to believe too. The kid can hoop.
That makes 2 of us. I'm a believer. I'm a fan, kid.
Jordan Howard turning the corner behind Toro, and that goes out of bounds. That's going to bring Condon off the bench. Toro will take a rest. First time we really see Paul Stoll off the ball now as Andriassi brings it up the court. Still trying to free himself to get the rock, and that's great defense by Jan Clavel. The crowd loves the effort. Andriassi for 3. It was tipped by Ortiz. Ball last touched by Puerto Rico. It never touched the rim, so 2.9 to shoot for Mexico.
Puerto Rico 2.9 left, probably going to go zone on this out of bounds possession.
And they do. Gotta get it in. They just do. Gutierrez, Jaimes, Lopez couldn't get it off in time. That's one too many passes.
Right, that's twice now. 2 shot clock violations. And I think, again, the crowd has been a big part of that, because you get the ball inbounded and really just no awareness that the clock is winding down. You can't hear your teammates, the other 4 guys on the court yelling to you. That's where the bench has to do a better job of just making sure that everybody is aware of that clock.
Quintero knows what's at stake here. This would be a massive win on the road if he's able to pull it off. 23rd time these 2 teams are meeting at senior national team level, official FIBA tournament. Howard, a good hesitant. Ortiz likes the shot, takes it. Foul is called on the other end. After the bucket. So let's see what's happening here. And it's unsportsmanlike as well. So it's going to be 2 free throws and the ball for Puerto Rico here. As it looks like Gutierrez fouled Condon when that ball went through the hoop. Bad foul by Gutierrez. As Condon will stand at the line.
So this is tough, because you just hit a big basket. Condon's going to get his 2 here. Unfortunately, missed the first of 2, and then you're going to get the possession again.
Condon, not a great free throw shooter. For Rip City this year in the G League, shot 59% in the BSN season, which is currently going on for Carolinas. Shooting 62% for the free throw. It was 1 or 2 that time. Back into the game.
They've done a really good job with this bench unit, this bench mob right here. While Waters and Alvarado have been on the bench, and Romero as well.
Yeah, the only starter on the floor right now is Condon. It'll be Reed to inbound the basketball. Condon accepts the pass. Ortiz, the captain. Howard with 5 to shoot, Stoll all over him.
Stoll better be careful, he's not picking the foul here.
Howard to the rim. You see at the bottom of your screen, Carlos Arroyo almost running onto the court. He was so excited about that move by the backup point guard, Jordan Howard. He knows a little one thing or two about getting past guards and laying it in.
Shifting, changing gears, the footwork. I love how Howard did. He didn't budge at all. Stoll was trying to get up into his grill and shut him down, and he just said, okay, I'm going to pad this rock a bit. I'm going to shift you. I'm going to get by you. This is not enough to stop me, Playboy.
Took on the challenge and won that battle. Ibada down low. Jump hook off the mark. Condon talking a little junk as well as he vacuumed in that rebound. Jan Clavel for 3. Foul is called. Stoll grabbed Condon. It's only the second team foul, third team foul for Mexico here in this quarter, so he'll slide out.
This is a matchup right here is tough for Paul Stoll, right? Because there's 4 guards that are constantly coming at him on the offensive end, and then defensively, Puerto Rico has a rotation of 4 guards that can get into him and wear him down. He's a focal point of Mexico's offense, So I think, you get to see him right now, a little fatigued, joined the team late. This is probably about his 5th game in 8 days because he was playing in the BSN.
He's pointing at the tournament with his tired legs. So you mentioned the 4 guards that are coming at him. What about the bigs that are laying the screens on him as well?
Laying those screens on him.
Condit from the foul line, no good. Ibada vacuums the rebound in. Here's Stoll. Was playing at his own pace. Great steal by Howard. Jordan Howard that time, great steal, was well aware of where that pass was going, playing off the ball, and lays it in to give Puerto Rico a 10-point lead. With 4:14 here to play in the first half.
Así que vamos a ver el boricua que salga ahí, rompan a dar peso pues para abajo, ahí besito. Ese no fue que se ganó 500 pesos.
Oye, saca el teléfono, traen de eso.
Mira, mijo, no la traigas mañana, ¿viste?
Y si no, juegas tú y
Dejando ver las parejitas por ahí.
yo.
Uno más.
Listo.
Uno más.
Vamos, dale.
¿Qué pasó?
Defense once again turning into offense for Puerto Rico, and Howard starting to impose his will on this basketball game.
Just great anticipation on the weak side, just knowing Stoll's coming across to Lopez, and Howard has 2 on that weak side, jumps Lopez and gets out for 2.
The alertness needed to play that off-ball defensive position when the rest of the court is going one way, and you're really the last line of defense.
You know
at that
what's crazy right now? We're talking about this crowd. You're sitting right beside me, and I can't hear a lick of what you just said. So I can't imagine them. I don't even know what you asked me.
The communication defensively, hard for him to hear, but Howard figured it out. Read that play. Here's Ibada. Stoll. Working on Howard. Stoll from the corner. Can't get it to drop. Lopez, look at the youngster inside battling. Can't get it to go. Wanted a foul call. Clavel comes away with it. Here's
a couple years when he's a little bit stronger, he's going right through the defense with that one. Had the right idea, his body just caved. He's a little bit weaker than these grown men he's playing against right now.
Reed for 3. Is that going to count? Is that going to count? Clavel was fouled on the baseline. Officials discussing whether or not that should count. It felt like the ball was in the air when the whistle blew. We'll let the crowd tell you whether or not it's a good field goal.
You know what's pretty cool to see is that Alvarado's on the sideline, and he is the biggest cheerleader right now for the guys on the court.
Here's the replay of it. The crowd is watching it on the big screen here in the arena. Officials still discussing whether or not it should be an and one opportunity. Jan Clavel bringing his team together for a huddle, as is Paul Stoll. No basket. The fourth team foul, though, for Mexico. The next one will put them in a penalty. Jaimez picks it up. So 14 seconds back on the shot clock now for Puerto Rico to work with. It'll be Reed to inbound this basketball. Ortiz. Clavel crossing over. Tried to find Howard. Howard did a great job of saving it. Reed's got to get it up.
When you're rolling, you're just rolling. When you're rocking, you're just rocking. That wasn't a great shot, but you make it based on the energy in this building.
Leads to the largest lead of the game now for Puerto Rico at 12. And a foul is called on Ortiz, a little too aggressive on the hedge. Second team foul for Puerto Rico here in this period.
The second quarter, Mexico's only scored 3 points. Puerto Rico's 20. Puerto Rico really came out of that first quarter and said, all right, it's time to turn it up a little.
They were down by 5 to start this period. Now lead by 12. Stoll for 3. Can't get it to go. A foul underneath. It's going to be called on Reed, and the Mexican fans and the Puerto Rican fans sitting next to each other, making sure they know who's repping who.
You know, with Puerto Rico right now, what is also making things a little difficult for Mexico is, yes, they're aggressive in getting into Paul Stoll, but they're also, here you can see the play, Reed just shoved Huron in the back. A little subtle one. Huron may have sold it a bit. But Puerto Rico is really doing that. They're throwing different looks at you defensively. Last possession, they were a 2-3 zone. The ball went high post, and they switched to man out of that 2-3.
Rodriguez on the baseline, cut off by Condit, and Jaimez able to get the floater to go. So he has it rolling tonight. Offensively, just needs some help, as Jaimez just poured in his 13th point. It'll be Reed in and out. Waters, look how far away they're setting that screen for Waters to go to work. And that's going to be 3 shots for Tremont Waters coming up.
And they, you know, you talk about the screen, how they're setting it is important. It's high out, which gives him so much more room to work on a step-up screen. Right now, he has a choice when he uses it. He can go right, he can go left, but the angle of that screen is so important. And all the space in the world, he chose to go for a 3, just being smart. Felt the hand of the defense and just went up into the shot. Now you get 3 at the strike.
Clavel getting a nice hand as he checks out of the game. Tremont Waters played this, called winter season, in the Chinese CBA for the Guangdong Southern Tigers. And for those that know, Guangdong Southern Tigers, most prestigious team over in the CBA, won the most championships, and able to get it done this year. Waters played well over there in China, now back here in the BSN. Teammate of George Condit for Gigantes of Atlanta. They won the title last year.
I'll say this as well. When you go to play in China as a guard, you are a very, very elite guard, because that is a league that's based on import bigs. And those guards that play over there, they can go. They don't use those import positions on anybody.
Arrow checking back back into the game. And Reed hits the bench. Alvarado also back on the floor. Alvarado trying to defend Hyman. Stole. Rodriguez for three. Indeed.
Rodriguez.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Win or go home. Winner plays Lithuania in the finals tomorrow night. FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. Ortiz for three. Ibarra with a great block out on Condon to get that rebound. Yudong at the foul line. Finds Rodriguez again for three. 2 in a row.
Rodriguez. Competido por el equipo de Puerto Rico.
Karim Rodriguez banging the three. Leads to a timeout for Puerto Rico. 1:38 to play in quarter number 2. Puerto Rico leads 43-36 over Mexico.
El correo parrandero está por ahí. Oye, deja de sentir cuando empiecen con esos panderos que el corillo boricua te siga. Escucha.
Defense, talking about defense. We can roll here. Defense out. If they go here, and we got 2 people here, after stone and recover. Watch the action. If he don't hit the road, everybody step back. Y antes, tienen que regresar. He got 2 in a row. On this side, okay? Now open. 5. Alvarado. Ivy. Ian. Condi aquí. Ortiz, Condi. Tremo. Ivy. Tremo, Ortiz. Ivy y Ortiz hand off. Alvarado go. Pin down Tremo. 5. Vamos. If we score 2.
Well, Rodriguez has come out and knocked down 2 triples back-to-back. Led to the Puerto Rican timeout. Mexico in a round here in the first half. Your go-home scenario.
You know, the danger of that 3-point line, right? You come out, you hit 2 of those, and right away, this is a single-digit game with 1:38 to go. As quiet of a quarter it's been for Mexico, just like that. You know, you're right back into this thing with momentum on your side.
That's the 8th three-pointer they've hit in this first half. Pinero pulls for 2. Stoll comes away with the flat-footed rebound. Yudong, he's hit a 3 in this game. Alvarado was standing in front of him to prevent him from pulling up. Size now on Stoll and Pinero. They get tied up. And that's the 4th team foul now in the period for Puerto Rico. That was an adjustment Lithuania made in game number 1 against Mexico. They put some size on Stoll in that second half, and it really neutralized them. Let's see if Puerto Rico decides to stay with it, but it looks like they're falling back into a little bit of a zone.
It's a 1-2-2 here.
5 to shoot for Stoll. Good ball movement, Yudong attacking. An offensive foul is going to be called as Condit takes another charge. Yudong probably had an opportunity to pull up and take that too.
He did, and that's what we want to see a bit more in today's game. Is guys, you get into the paint right here. If he lands on 2 in control, he can go up for a floater, a little push shot, or go up for, you know, a jump shot. But a lot of guys are just thinking, you know, basket or 3, basket or 3. Sometimes you just have to read what's in front of you.
1 minute to play now in the half. Ortiz to the rim. Poor defense that time for Mexico. Leads to an easy 2 for Puerto Rico. It's not like they need help scoring tonight. Already with 45 points here, half of play. Stoll. Trying to find Ibarra on the roll, gave it away.
Ortiz may be one of my favorite players in this entire tournament. Right, he does all the intangibles, and funny enough, we've seen a number of teams, and I bet you he could fit any system. Plays off of plays within the system, plays off of the guards, just makes solid, sound reads, and plays fundamentally sound basketball.
Waters crossing over on Rodriguez. Kicks it to Pinero for three. No good. And Javon's favorite player on the cleanup. Giron racing out. Rodriguez for three at the horn and knocks it down. Kareem Rodriguez feeling it from the land beyond, and that's how we end the first half. Well, we expected a good one, and a good one is brewing. As we take a look at that last three from Rodriguez, getting it off in time, splashing it through to give Mexico a little bit of momentum heading in to recess. 47-39, your score. Puerto Rico in front. From the first 20 minutes of play, Mexico with 9 3-pointers, keeping them within striking distance in this basketball game. Big donut in terms of free throw attempts from them in the first half. Rebounding battle +2 in favor of Puerto Rico, but Mexico moving the basketball a little better. And Rodriguez has hit 3 big threes to close the half. Leads all scorers. 13 points. James got things going early in the first. So they're getting the secondary scoring. Are Mexico? Threes are falling, but it is Puerto Rico who head to the break with the lead.
Yeah, and for Mexico right now going into that half, you finish with a big-time three. You have some momentum there. Late in the second quarter, they picked it up. For Puerto Rico, they got a big burst by this guy right here, Howard, coming off the bench, and really held things down, held down the fort. And Alvarado, when Waters were on the bench, and there was really no drop-off. So Puerto Rico can come out in that second half and maintain that level of intensity, maintain that level of play for the next 20 minutes. That'll be great for them. Mexico's got to be able to weather the storm because they are going to come out and punch. They do have the crowd behind them. They have 4 guards that are going to continue to come at you, continue to get downhill, continue to mix it up. And then they have guys like Reed, right? A very, very, very deep, talented team. Rodriguez came in from Mexico. He did his thing. And Mexico's going to need a little bit more of it, and they can't have the laps that they did to start the second quarter.
Look of intensity on Coach Colon's face. Howard showing up, fans showing out. Coach Quintana knows what it would mean if he's able to get past Puerto Rico here in the semis. It would mean 1 win away from the Olympic Games. First time since 1976. Puerto Rico standing in their way. They're trying to get back to the Olympic Games. It's been 20 years since they've done it. Fans here being treated to a good one. Key player matchup. Alvarado the big, Alvarado the guard. Right now, Alvarado with 7 points. Started the game hot, got things going, and helped Puerto Rico get off the schneid in terms of offense. Alvarado has been quiet since dropping in his first 4 points within the first couple of minutes of the game. We'll see if we can get back to that to start the second half. More second half action on the other side of this.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together. basketball for good.
Webster catches, turns, misses. Is this the 10th assist? Yeah. It gets the triple-double with the full court heave.
Play it out as Alvarado has it. Alvarado looking to put the nail in the coffin. Deep three. Hey! Hey! Jose Alvarado. Nasty in San Juan.
Don't have a play it down. Finds Spellman, goes up. Oh my goodness! Amari Spellman with the throwdown.
Here's Lopez. Oh! Lopez rising up and crushing the orange.
I did not see that coming. I didn't see that one. I did not see that.
Darwin trying to penetrate, goes in, finds a Diddy. What a play! What a time! Sublime primetime time coming from Sergio Darwin.
Need a big body out there to contend with Hudson. How about Shagilia?
Can't guard him. Shagilia, with the lineup they have at the moment, one of the front line has got a matchup that they can just go at.
Back it in. Stoll on the push. Down the lane is Hyman. Up top! And Ibarra hammers it home. Josh Ibarra with the sledgehammer.
Just now with South Sudan having qualified for the Olympics and just kind of basically exploded on the scene, they're going to be the favorites wherever they play, right?
Oh my, the alley-oop to Papagiannis.
The vision from Kalathis, probably the best lob thrower in all of Europe. Papagiannis, what a threat.
No call.
Pass.
Yes. Oh my word! Iago Phineas with authority on the glass.
Iago Phineas missed the shot. Never stop playing though. That could be a key play as this game develops.
Maxuni now wants to go inside. That's it. Back to Salah. Hesitates. Nowhere to go here. Down good. Oh my goodness! Key toss. Thank you, as they would say in Suomi. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Back we are here at halftime in the El Choli Arena. 12,000 plus on hand to see Mexico and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico in front 47-39. Mexico's been able to keep it close in large part to the effort by Fabian Jaimes. 13 points. He's knocked down 3 threes in the first half. And every time it felt like Mexico needed a basket, they got one from number 3.
Yeah, the 3-ball really kept them in this game, and Jaimes really came out and 3 for 5, made some tough ones, but also just some shots like this, right? Finding his spots, finding his gaps when the defense falling asleep, and just making things happen. He came out this game, he was far more intentional than we seen him last game, right? But he's got to have another half like this, even better. You got even more from him. When you're playing on the road, and you're in a tough game like this, you got to beat your opponent by 10 to 15 for it to even out.
Shot chart shows you he likes one side of the floor. That's that right side. Don't think about the left, but he's getting it done right now. 5 for 9 from the floor, 13 points. And leads the way for Mexico. They've also gotten a good first half out of Karim Rodriguez, who also hit 3 threes in in that first half. He has 13 points and counting here for Mexico. Leading scorer for Puerto Rico. How about Jordan Howard coming off the bench with 11 points and really sparked the offense. And we saw this from him in game number 1 against Bahrain. He came into the game and controlled it really from the moment he stepped on the floor till the time he stepped off of it. And it felt like Puerto Rico needed something, and he gave it to them.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because you and I spoke, and we've talked about how well he shoots the basketball, but he's only hit 1 3 here.
Correct.
And in that second quarter, it was his show, right? The presence that he had, everybody played and fed off of him. But a lot of it was just getting to the basket, showing his outside game, but also showing, okay, I can handle the rock a bit, I can get to the basket, use my speed. There was one play in particular where Paul Stoll just really tried to get up into him, fluster him a bit, and frustrate him, and he kept that basketball alive, didn't fall to the pressure, and just blew by ball and got to the rim for a nice lay. But he had some really big minutes, came in with his time there, 11 points in just 8 minutes, excuse me.
Leading scorer for Puerto Rico at 11 points, as you mentioned. Toro also contributed with 6 rebounds coming off the bench. So here's Jordan Howard. Efficient night so far for Puerto Rico. And this three-headed monster at guard, Puerto Rico, has really been the catalyst for this team offensively. They're now on 47 points in 1/2 of basketball. By the way, we talk about their offense a lot. It's been their defense as well. You got to have good guard play. When you mention guard play, they got to be the head of the snake defensively as well.
Yeah, and you know, you had guys like Howard that's gone in, mixed it up on the defensive end. Tremont's shown some effort. Alvarado's shown some effort, but even guys like Reed and, you know, Condon's been down low. He took a couple charges, laid his body on the line. But they've had a complete team effort on that end of the floor, and you don't necessarily pair them with defense or, you know, expect that they're going to be a defensive juggernaut. But those guys have really come out, and even Ortiz, like, he's one of the guys, I told you, he's one of my favorite players in this tournament, using his ability to versatility and interchangeability to guards 1 through 4. It's one of those plays. Howard come up with a weak side steal, getting down the transition. He makes it look easy, makes it look so easy. Well, he just went from a free safety, got out, and got himself easy too.
Here's his shot chart. You see the 3 points in the paint, or 3 makes in the paint, I should say, and then the 1 from deep. Efficient night for him thus far with 11 points and counting. Here's leaders for Mexico, the 13 points. Rodriguez and Fabian Jaimez at the top. Rada with the 5 rebounds. Paul Stoll is going to have assists even with his eyes closed. 5 assists to count. In 12 in game number 1. And just an assist machine. He finds players in their spot. There's certain guys can kind of pass you open, even when you don't think you're open.
Yeah.
He's one of those that will pass you open.
He sees the play develop before it even happens, 2 seconds before you do. You know, and you talk about him, he'll have assists with his eyes closed. Well, the second half, he better have his eyes open, because these guys are coming to knock his head off. You know, bumping him on cuts and really being aggressive with him, fouling him. And you talked about the 3-headed monster of guards with Puerto Rico. Well, throw Cavell in there as well defensively, because he's done a good job against Paul Stoll as well. So they have 4 guards that can try and get into him, and then you have 2 perimeters that can switch and make things difficult for him as well. So you better be prepared, you better be ready.
Look at Fabian Jaimez's stat line, 13 points, 3 rebounds. As he is trying to get his team to the finals here in the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. The game will be played tomorrow. Winner of this game sees Lithuania in the finals. In my opinion, this is the toughest tournament to win in all FIBA competitions. 6 teams, only 1 spot for the Olympic Games. You really can't stub your toe at all, and you got to be cooking from game number 1.
This is it. You mentioned a number of times, and I think it really sunk into me. You know, when we got here, got to the arena today, and we realized there's 4 really good teams here, and only one of those teams you know is going to be the winner. Like you mentioned, you can't, you know, in other tournaments, you can stub your toe and still advance. But there's one winner, one team that's going to advance from this tournament right here.
The other tournaments around the world, you can follow on the Courtside 1891 app. Streams, schedules, scores, and so much more. Listen, Championship Sunday, folks, is going to be jam-packed. We'll have 4 great games of basketball, including one here. But the other 4, we'll see Spain taking on Bahamas, Greece and Croatia, and Latvia at home against Brazil. The 3 home teams in those tournaments, they all made it through. Latvia, Greece, and Spain. Puerto Rico trying to be the 4th to join them. Mexico standing in their way.
You know, those host countries, they invest a lot. There's a lot of money, it's a lot of time that goes into it, and it's all for a chance, right? So for those host countries, just to be in that position, like you said, Championship Sunday, that is what you do it for. Not just the guys that are in the jerseys, but you look around the arena, all the support staff, everybody that plays a part in this thing, like it means something to them.
Start the second half with a Puerto Rican possession. Waters who crosses the timeline. Puerto Rico lead 47-39. Winner moves on to the finals to take on Lithuania on Championship Sunday. Here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Waters with the float. Can't get it to go. Ibarra pulls down the rebound. There's the 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico. Pinero, Condit, Alvarado, Romero, and Waters. The same starting 5 to start the game. Stoll left alone for 3. Indeed, rattles it home. There's the 5 on the floor for Mexico.
Same way they finish the half, they start the half with a 3. Right, that right there, you chip away at it.
Pinero had the mismatch on Hidron and took him right down to the post. A little mouse in the house action. Stoll. Hedged there by Romero to allow Alvarado to get back. And he gets back to his man in Ibarra and defends perfectly. Alvarado poked away by Jaimes. Stoll surveying the situation. Almost lost the rock. The size of Pinero really bothering Stoll. Jaimes on the cut. Can't get it to go. Ibarra taps it up and in.
It's a great cut. Ibarra using his body, bumping Romero out of position off his block, and then tips it in on the offensive boards.
25 remaining here in the third. Alvarado couldn't catch it cleanly. You see Ibarra now with 6 points. Waters so tough.
That's a look they have to exploit that a little more, especially when Waters has so much space, right? They're sending those screens that high up. When he gets downhill, if he can just change speeds against Ibarra, there's going to be no defense for that.
How do you stop that?
You pray. You pray. You pray.
Waters
but
going
no,
downhill.
They would have to do a better job, right? You have to see if he's going to continue to do that, then you have to be a bit more aggressive in stunning at him earlier. Ibarra can't be that low on those screens.
Got to trap him, right? And that's easier said than done. Ibarra has that ball go through his legs. It still ends up in the hands of Jaimes. Hidron for 3. In and out. Alvarado up to Condit. Ooh. Romero. That was a great strip by Hidron. Hidron now attacking. Stolen by Waters. Ooh. Puerto Rico saying that it last touched Mexico. Officials saying it should stay here.
They might have a case. I'm no physics major, but the way that ball was going, the direction.
Not the greatest angle to make the call, so we'll let you decide at home. Rodriguez, nice feed inside to Ibarra. He's battling inside. 3 defenders around him. Ibarra can't get it to fall, and Romero has it. Better look for a card. That was an adventure watching him trip. Condit facing up now on Ibarra. Condit banging down low, and it's a jump ball. Great defense by Josh Ibarra, moving his feet and clamping down on the rock.
See that there, that's the inexperience of Condit. He's got to go right back, and Alvarado was in a position for you to just give him a little handoff and let him go one-on-one downhill with Ibarra. force a switch, if anything, and get matched up with Stoll. You don't want to have to go one-on-one as a big.
Possession arrow is in favor of Mexico. That's why they ended up with the basketball. Ibarra again, another offensive rebound. Stoll trying to shake Pinero. A series of moves. Pinero's right with them. Stoll attacking. Giron inside. Stoll shaking his head as the crowd was rising to their feet. Pinero locking him up. But Giron finishing with the 2. Waters, deep 3. Shot that from Bayamon.
Hello. Hello now. That is the danger with Waters, right? He can turn up his offense at any point. You look at where he took that shot from. That's NBA point range, 3-point range.
Rodriguez on the smaller Waters, spinning inside. Off the ricochet, gets it back. Giron shows it. Great steal by Waters. Puerto Rico looking to run. Waters to the 10. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. Crowd wanting an unsportsmanlike foul, as does head coach Colon. Waters still down on the ground. Took a heavy bump. Let's see if this warrants at least a review.
You can see Waters the whole way down. His eyes are up. He's looking to the corner. Alvarado was running to that left corner. And those two have some really good connection. If he had gone out there and kicked it out, this whole place would have went crazy. But still picks up the foul here, gets himself to the line. And this is right after taking that deep 3 from about 30 feet out. I love watching how he plays, because he'll start the game being extremely unselfish. But when he thinks it's time that he needs to turn up his offense, he can do it, and he does do it. Not a lot of guys have the option of, hey, I'm going to score now, and I'm just going to go do it, or I'm going to start the game and I'm just going to pass. That takes a lot of talent, a lot of skill.
He's one of the best fourth-quarter scorers this season in the CBA as he misses the first free throw. To your point, he normally feels the game out and then decides, all right, it's time for me to get some offense. And we've seen that over the last couple of possessions. He's been a little bit more aggressive, trying to deliver the knockout goal. Still plenty of time in this one, though. Mexico's going to hang around. Meanwhile, that was a 3rd personal foul on Stoll. He's got to be very careful with there's plenty of time, and there's no backup guard either on the bench for Mexico that can do what Paul Stoll does.
That was my concern coming into this game for Mexico is, the guard play. Right? Do they have enough at the guard positions to go up against these 4 tremendous guards?
Jaime's floater not there. Ibarra with the tap, can't get it to go, and Kleindick comes away with it. Waters, the hezzy triple. Alvarado from the corner. Can't get it to go, and Jaime's with the rebound. Giron wants to go to work. Condit with the switch. Romero came over, and a soft, nice little bounce there for Giron.
That's tough. He had the mismatch first against Waters, and Romero switched over. He went right back over, away from Romero. It was a good read and great time and great patience.
Waters pulls up top of the key.
This is what you call not getting in your bag, but just game management, game flow. Waters is in complete control right now.
Pinero's going to get called for dumping Jaimes to the deck. It's a 2nd team foul now for Puerto Rico. 2nd foul for
Segunda falta personal del número 0, Isaías Piñeiro.
You mentioned the guard play and the waves that Puerto Rico has to come at you. At some point, it feels like Paul Stoll's going to have to sit down. He's not going to want to. But when do you take him out? He played 36 minutes in the win over Cote d'Ivoire as he takes a deep 3 here. Falls short, Jaimes underneath. And a steal for Condit. Alvarado to the rim. What a rejection by Ibarra. Stoll. Rodriguez for 3, no good. Alvarado leads the break once again. Pinero on one leg to Romero inside. Count it. And the foul. And a technical foul is called, and this place is going bonkers.
Falta técnica, cantada dirigente del equipo de México.
So Alvarado will take the tech free throw.
You know what? Coach Omar Quintero, he may have a case. It looked like Pinero may have traveled. He was falling out of bounds. And you asked a question earlier, you know, when would you take out Paul Stoll? And I think with, you know, this team needs him on the floor, but he also is going to need a break to be the best in that fourth quarter. I think if you're Coach Omar, you're looking at taking him out with maybe a minute to go in this third, so that you get a minute of game time, which is going to be, you know, approximately 1:30, maybe 2 minutes of real time, and then you get him into that break, and you can start that fourth with him fresh, or even give him a minute into the fourth.
See what Coach Quintero decides to do. Here's a look at Israel Romero's work. 9 points so far in this game. That two-headed monster inside. We always talk about the guards so far in this tournament, but the two-headed monster inside is no joke either.
It's crazy because when we talk about teams from the Americas, we always talk about guards.
Right.
When we talk about teams from Europe, we talk about their bigs.
Right.
Just the contrasting styles of play, but you're right.
Ronald Romero been terrific tonight. Stoll takes the shot. Let's see if they count this. Stoll wants to count the three. A foul is on. Let's see. They're going to discuss. They're actually going to review it to see if Stoll got it off in time. This could be a key moment here for Mexico, as James got dumped and he is holding his head and blinking his eyes. Let's listen in to the officials here as they review this call.
We will review the last contact to see if the contact met the criteria of unsportsmanlike. Normal speed, please. Normal speed. Okay, again. Go down. Same camera. We go like this. Okay. Yep. Go down. Wait. Let's go with the normal speed first. Okay, again.
This is the bad one. This is better,
Wait, so now we have a slap in the face. We need maybe this. Would like to review this camera, please. Okay, we have the defender going. This is basket, and now we have a slap. We have reaching the head. Is it a natural movement for you? Okay. After review, the foul of 51 white will be upgraded to unsportsmanlike. Yeah. You upgrade?
Two shots in the ball for Mexico. The three won't count. And first of all, shout out to the officials for wearing the mic and giving us that type of access. But here's the call. You heard them walk through it. It was a normal basketball natural movement up until the slap in the face. So Fabian James will stand at the line for 2 free throws. This crowd letting them hear it. James has been here before, 31 years of age. This is 35th appearance at senior national team level. 2 free throws go through for Fabian Jaimes, who's having himself a great game. He's still wincing after taking that shot to the face. 15 points and counting now for Jaimes in a 10-point game with 4:09 to play here in the third. See if Mexico can take advantage now. And as soon as I say that, they turn it over on the offensive foul as Jaimes delivers the blow to Waters, and they lose possession.
Tercera falta personal del número 3, Fabian
And a clear foul.
And that's a tough one too, because a big part of that is Stoll's got to do a better job of waiting until the screener is in position on that screen-to-screener action.
Waters, step back three.
That's a gamer. That's a game. He's just a flat-out gamer. That is a hooper.
He's taken over the third quarter. Tremont Waters now with 20 points and counting. His fourth three-pointer. Rodriguez, Jaimes, he'd Hong for three. Off the mark. Waters vacuums it in. Alvarado for three. It's off the mark, and Jaimes has it. Stoll will slow things down.
Alvarado is so emotional that any opportunity he has to send a dagger and sink that knife through the chest of Mexico, he's going for it.
That's the third offensive foul taken by George Condon tonight. How about his defensive effort as Josh Ibarra picks up the foul? And listen, that's like a Mack truck coming at you. 13-point advantage right now for Puerto Rico. Waters.
Uh-oh! 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 Call the timeout. He's rocking.
It's party time in San Juan. Tremont Waters, the step back, splash.
We talk about his quickness, but how about this stepping away from the defense while everybody's momentum shifts them away, creates that space. He's signaling for Mexico, you gotta call that timeout. Get it together, I'm him, I'm that man.
El Choli Arena rocking right now as Puerto Rico lead by 15, 3:01 remaining in the third. A win tonight sends them to the finals to take on Lithuania. Championship Sunday. Still plenty of time left in this basketball game. We know that Mexico's not going to go down easy.
And now Puerto Rico's come out of that timeout to switch up the defense a bit. They've gone to that 2-2-1 full court to 2-3 zone.
And Rigassi into the game now. The floater is there for him. Talked about the backup point guard and who can help Stoll kind of initiate the offense. It's got to be Andriassi.
And they've got to want to right now, right? They've got to step up. They've got to meet the intensity, meet this crowd.
Arrow drills a three. And the Hall of Famer looks on. Stoll weaving through traffic. Alvarado almost came away with a steal. Nice pass by Stoll inside to Gutierrez.
That's a good job. Right, broken play, you come up with it. Puerto Rico, even 30 feet out, they're going over the screens with Paul Stoll, really trying to get the basketball out of his hands.
Waters. Alvarado. If you're wondering what the crowd says after a three, it's Fua. That's just the noise they make when a three goes down. Here in Puerto Rico, Gutierrez. Nice patience inside for two.
And even Alvarado right now, he's looking to get the ball to Waters. He knows that's where the hot hand is.
Condit down the lane! George Condit pounding it home! Andriassi for three, got it! Alvarado crossing over, inside, Romero, rejected by Andriassi. The foul was called though. Can hardly hear the whistle in this arena. Still upset. Romero knows he should have had two. Let's take a look at Condit flying in air. Condit right down into your living room. Another technical foul taken by Mexico. Alvarado standing at the foul line to shoot the tech free throw. Gabriel Giron picks up the tech. Alvarado drills the free throw. And now we'll see Romero at the line. Romero not a great free throw shooter. Let's take a look at Alvarado's points. He had 29 against Italy and 11 tonight. But they haven't needed his scoring punch. It's been a complete team effort right now for Puerto Rico. And Tremont Waters is taking over this third quarter. Who thought a three went down after that free throw made. They know that Romero struggles from the line. He hits two. You'll feel the ground shake here in this building. It was almost too much ask, wasn't it? 40 seconds to play here in the third. Andriassi, he's looked aggressive offensively. Takes the three in front of Condit. Can't get it to fall. Romero battling for it. And Alvarado has it now. Mexico has only gotten to the line twice tonight. Waters gets fouled. A bad foul by Paul Stoll. Not only because it sends Waters to the line, but it's also his fourth foul in the game.
See, that's where pride. Tremont Waters talking to Paul Stoll right now, letting him know like that's your fourth. That is your fourth. And that's where pride kicks in, right? Stoll's he's got to understand how much he means to this team, right? Not get caught up in this one-on-one battle. It's tough because Waters is attacking him, Alvarado's attacking him. You know, you have two guards that are coming off the bench and attacking him. At some point, you know what, you got to check yourself and say, I can't pick up the fourth with 17 seconds left in this third quarter. Right? He had Waters on the ropes at half court, but Waters is too good, he's too quick, and also too smart for that. That's a tough one. That's a bad one by Stoll. Emotional player. He's the leader of this team. Got to be smarter there. Good job by Waters. Now it goes back to our point. Coach Omar probably should have took out Stoll with that minute mark so he doesn't pick up this fourth, gets a little bit more rest. You risk that, 17 seconds, pick up that fourth. This is going to hurt you guys because he can't come back into this game We're another 3 minutes into the fourth quarter.
The offense now rests on the shoulder of this man, Andriassi. Kareem Lopez, the 17-year-old, back in the game. Waters comes crashing into the scores table to save it. Alvarado misses the bunny. Reed for three. Off the mark. And Waters is still down right next to us as he went crashing in to the cameraman that sits right here next to this table. The end of the third quarter, 77-59, as a number of people come to help Waters. You see him walking back into your screen. And the crowd, thankful he's walking away. Here are the stats from the first 3 quarters of play. Waters is going to go right back into the locker room. Rightfully so. Here are the best pictures from the third quarter. A quarter that saw Puerto Rico really dominate and take control of this basketball game. They were plus 10 in that third quarter and broke this game open to take a 77-59 lead. And it was this man right here, Tremont Waters.
Yeah, talking about taking the game over and breaking the game open. Tremont Waters single-handedly put Puerto Rico on his back. Tough shot after tough shot, but tough play after tough play. And Condon, we're seeing him dunk this dunk right here. But how many times has he stepped up, put his body on the line, and taken charges today? And this Puerto Rican group right now, you know, they're playing with energy, they're playing with fire. Alvarado still to get going, right? They have more in the tank. For the 30-point third quarter, they came out and they showed out.
The legend Carlos Arroyo looking on. Everybody loving it here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Courtside 1891, stream, schedule, scores, and so much more. Follow along all 4 FIBA OQ teams. And global basketball beyond. Courtside 1891, your home for global basketball. Puerto Rico now starting this fourth quarter. A lot of emotion in this arena. They know they're 10 minutes away from a final, leading 77-59. Mexico, they have one goal in mind right now, and just get it to within single digits or near single digits halfway through this quarter.
Yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to come out to a really good start in the first opening 2 minutes. With the second unit right now on the floor. And remember, they really took over that second quarter, Howard and Cavell. Ortiz came in and he did his thing that second quarter as well. So this group, it's no letdown. Same intensity if you're Mexico.
So Howard on the rock, Clavell, Reed, Ortiz, and Condon on the floor. Ball tapped out of bounds, 10 to shoot for Puerto Rico. The 5 on the floor for Mexico, Rodriguez, Jaimez, Giron, Andriassi, and Gutierrez in the middle. Ibarra on the bench, Stoll on the bench. How long do you leave him on the bench here in the fourth quarter? Coach Quintero has to ask himself that question. Should be happy with that stop as they come away with the steal. There's confirmation of the 5 on the floor for Mexico. Gabriel Giron, the floater. Gets it to go after a couple of bounces. That's a good start.
Yeah, really good start there. Can this second unit, can this group right here, without Stoll, without Barra on the floor, can they give you something? 2-3 zone they're showing right now.
Howard trying to shoot him out of it.
That's a big one. You screen the inside of that top defender, and Howard he takes one step into it. There's no rotation over. You know, a shooter like that, he's going to make magic happen.
Howard with 14. Condit with a great block. Giron thought he had an easy 2, and Condit comes up with a great rejection on the other end. Andriassi with the unsportsmanlike foul. And Coach Quintero is going to try and challenge it. I don't think he could challenge this.
See, I think this was a play on the ball. I could be wrong. But Cavell, you know, he tried to make a play on the ball, but Cavell pushed the ball in front of him. Pushed the ball ahead.
He is going to challenge it, by the way. But you're right. At first look, it did look like there was a basketball play.
Yeah.
Let's listen into the officials.
We have a head coach challenge to see if the contact met the criteria of unsportsmanlike or not. No, can we have main camera, normal speed, please? Normal speed. From the baseline. Again. Thank you. He's going close to the ball, and then the hand of the offensive player is going up for arm.
Normal speed, I saw necessary contact. But I can't contact and go straight with the boot. That's why I have an informal foul.
He's going with the right arm to the ball. Look, he's already... Yeah, okay, but this follow through is normal. This is now the offensive player with the right arm going and cleaning the way. Just give me the main camera, please. So it cannot be C3 because he's playing the ball. We cannot be C4 because it's not open path. We have another player. So the foul didn't meet the criteria of unsportsmanlike. We will downgrade the foul, okay, to number 7 red. Okay. After review, the foul will be downgraded to personal foul. Normal foul, 7 red on the fight. Normal foul.
Look at us, we could be refs. This commentary thing doesn't work out for us. We can go on.
I don't know about that. I don't want the pressure, but I'll play the lottery. I'll take our one win here and play the lottery tonight.
So a common foul, as that one was downgraded. Successful challenge for Mexico. 8:51 remaining in this game. Mexico trying to dig themselves out of this hole. There's 19 seconds on the shot clock. And Howard has it. I'm sure you could play zone when he's on the floor, but he frees himself for 3 again.
All right now. You know what the toughest part is? He hits the shot, he's just calm, cool, collected. I do this. That's a 30-foot shot.
It's like a layup for him.
30-foot shot, you guys run your offense, it's your turn.
And Oyasi. Step back 3. Off the mark, Reed clamps down that board. Looking around for a guard, he's gonna have to bring it up himself. Good screen there by Condon. He wants it. Oh, Howard again for 3. Off the mark. They keep losing him. Vidron has it. He'll dump it inside. Smart pass. And Jaimez lays it in. It's a solid offensive possession. Down 20. You can't get 20 points back in one shot. Vidron dumping it inside, proving that. Clavel for 3.
My turn, your turn. It's the same thing that happened in the second quarter, right? Waters and Alvarado on the bench. Waters in the locker room, Alvarado on the bench. And these two guards, they showed out. And right now, it's the same thing. No drop-off. That's got to be tough for Mexico.
Jaimez, a shot off the mark. Good block out there by Condon. Stoll, Ibarra, and Lopez waiting to check back in the game. Coach Quintero calls timeout to get them back at the next whistle. Here's Howard. Get on in front of him. Ortiz inside. Condit can't get it to go the first time, but taps it back up and in, and that's a technical foul. A technical foul as Condit was screaming, and Gutierrez didn't like it, and he picks up the tech. Mexico falling apart here.
Condit, a 23-year-old, getting in the head of Gutierrez, a 31-year-old.
Hay tiempo pedido por el equipo de México.
Timeout Mexico before the tech free throws. 6:53 remaining in the game. And right now, Puerto Rico closing in on a finals appearance that will see them play Lithuania for the ticket to Paris. And this place has come alive. Israel Gutierrez leaving the court after picking up his second technical foul. He's out of this game. That was the reason for the crowd rising to their feet as they made sure he knew he is not welcome here.
You sure that wasn't the crowd telling him to stay?
What an atmosphere this is. It just hits different when you're playing for your country. You've had that experience. You put on the Canadian national team jersey. As we take a look at the technical foul, as Condit here with the 1-2 and then the tap in and then the screen. And Gutierrez.
He couldn't take it anymore. He said, I had enough. I got to get out of here. I can't deal with this anymore. He tried to be slick, but I love how Condit kept his cool.
I agree.
I love it.
I agree.
At 23 years old, no response, and just looked at the officials. You could do something, or am I going to have to do something?
Right. Howard, who's normally automatic from the free throw line, missed the tech free throw. So Stoll back on the floor with Rodriguez and Ibarra. They sat down for a while. Mexico with 6:50 remaining in this game. This is where pride has to kick in. Backs are definitely against the wall in this semifinal game. Rodriguez, Lopez for three. Can't get it to go. Reed almost lost it to Jaime. Stoll comes up with the steal. A little too casual with the basketball, and it leads to a three from Stoll. Meanwhile, in the background, Tremont Waters walking back onto the bench, coming out of the locker room. Seems to be okay after taking a bump, showing some hustle. Stoll with 9 points. They needed more out of Stoll offensively tonight. He has to get going. Here's Ortiz. And Stoll is out of the game.
I think this might be on the bar. He's going to pick up his fourth as well.
This is fifth foul. They're calling it on Ibarra.
Yeah,
they're calling it on Ibarra, who now has 4 as well. So Stoll has 4, and Ibarra has 4. Howard. Clavel from the corner. The easiest rebound of the night for Jaimes. Lopez had it poked. Got it back and Stoll trying to work on Ortiz. Jaimes down low working on Reed. Rodriguez for 3. Good rotation on it, but couldn't get it to drop.
Puerto Rico has been there on every catch. They've been really good defensively as well. That ball moves and they're right there.
Howard. Fua. Stoll, deep 3, can't get it to go. Jaimes. Toro comes up with a steal.
If we get one more 3 here, it's curtains.
Howard was trying a miracle pass to Ortiz on the alley, but that was ill-advised.
If that was Alvarado, he was putting up for the 3. I promise you, because he wants to take the roof off this thing.
Lopez on the other end puts it in calmly. 91 points from Puerto Rico in this basketball game. Just an unbelievable offensive performance. Reed. Ortiz for 3. Reed tracks down the board. Toro. And a kick ball by Jaimes. He has a double-double of 17 points, 10 boards. And Puerto Rico now emptying their bench, thinking about tomorrow a little bit here. Stevie Thompson checks in, and Akeem Ford also checks in. Reed telling the crowd to rise up. They can smell victory now with 4:34 remaining in the game. Ortiz has it. Ford on the wing. Ortiz down the lane. Tough layup. Can't get it to go. And Lopez comes away with it. He's fouled. It's only the first team foul for Puerto Rico in this fourth quarter.
Segunda falta personal del número 32.
It's a second foul for Ortiz. He stole. Finds Ibarra down the lane, slick move, but couldn't get it to drop. Jaime's on the cleanup. 21-point advantage for Puerto Rico. Jaime's another kick save. Crowd has been incredible all night. They've willed this team to energy plays, effort plays. And this team's given them a lot to cheer for as well with their effort. Jordan Howard standing on the logo. 10 to shoot. Toro turns. It's Akeem Ford for three. Jimenez with another rebound. Rodriguez inside Ibarra. Good pass to Jimenez.
21 points for Jimenez. 13 rebounds, 4 dimes to go with it.
Did what he had to do tonight. Just wasn't enough.
He checked into the office.
Howard. Nice pass to Toro, and that's stripped. Should go the other way. No, they're saying it's staying right here. Thought it banged off the leg of Toro. 4.7 to shoot for Puerto Rico. Thompson, oh, good crossover. A foul on a three-point shot. And Stevie Thompson will go to the line for 3 free throws. The youngster Lopez picking up the foul, which is the 4th team foul for Mexico here. Stevie Thompson playing for Bayamon in the BSN, making his 19th appearance in the senior national team jersey here tonight. He and his younger brother Ethan, the Oregon State Beavers, to an Elite 8 run back in the NCAA tournament, so he knows about single elimination basketball. He didn't play against Italy. He came back on the floor, obviously, here tonight. And another player that at the wing position with size and can shoot. Of course, I say that, I mean, this is a free throw. Stole inside, Ibarra couldn't handle it. Somehow got it back. Toro rejects it. Toro's quietly had a nice game. Stevie Thompson. Ortiz left alone for 3. Lopez battling for it, and whistle blows. It's going to stay here. Check, that's going to be a foul.
Still been impressed with Lopez. Just his whole swagger, his whole disposition, his demeanor out there. Right, he looks like I'm supposed to be here. Right, the way he's not big numbers tonight, but just even him sticking his nose in there, tapping that ball around with those big trees, those grown men down there.
I mean, to your point about Lopez, 17 years old. He's not even the youngest player on this team. Adrian Porras at 15 years old, became the youngest player to check into an Olympic qualifying tournament when he played game number 1 against Lithuania. And when you factor in those two, Yael Bolina, this is a Mexican club team that has a bright future. But you start to think about guys like Stoll, who's at age 38. You start to think about guys like Fabian Jaimes. You start to think about guys like Gabriel Giron, who's at 36 years old. Israel Gutierrez, who have spent time with the national team and going through these Olympic qualifying tournaments. They don't get easier as time goes on, especially the older you get.
And you know what? You mentioned it a couple times as well that this may be the last attempt for that, that veteran group, those elder statesmen of this team, of this team. But when you have guys like Lopez,
we would like to review the contact.
You're still in some really good position. 2 cycles away.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Do we have from the other side? No, this one, please. Okay, he's dribbling, and the contact is with the left arm, with the left hand. Now, he's touching the face. It's just a touch. Okay. After review, the contact didn't meet the criteria of unsportsmanlike. We remain with a personal foul on 51 white. Side out.
So common foul, no upgrade here. But it was the 3rd team foul for Puerto Rico with 2:17 remaining in the game. Stoll's going to let it bounce so the clock doesn't start early. And then head of steam for Stoll, fouled, count it, he'll go to the line. Are they calling it on the floor? They're calling it on the floor. Stoll upset, felt like he was in a shooting motion. And the crowd a little antsy. They want Stoll to pick up the tech. Stoll already has the one. Stoll for 3, a deep one off the mark. Toro picks it up. Ortiz to the basket! Dunking his way to the finals. A 20-point lead for Puerto Rico. 155 away from a date with Lithuania. And the captain caps this one with a dunk. Stoll's going to get the hook here as Coach Quintero pulls him out of the game. That'll be the last we see of Paul Stoll to close it. And he is gesturing to the crowd from the bench. Rodriguez, Lopez inside, can't get it to fall. Toro has it. Ortiz for 3. Thompson, the offensive rebound. He'll try, and he's blocked by Rodriguez. Good high-low there as Ibarra legs it up and in. He's had a nice tournament. Played really well for Mexico here tonight. And in the 2 prior games. Under a minute to play, this crowd will power Puerto Rico into the finals. Howard for 3. Another offensive rebound for Puerto Rico. Ball up for grabs. Lopez gets to the deck. Too far for Jaimes. So we have our final matchup. 36 seconds away from that being official. Puerto Rico becomes the 4th host nation to punch their ticket to the finals in the Olympic qualifying tournament here in 2024. Standing in their way are the world powers Lithuania. If you don't have courtside 1891 yet, do yourself a favor and sign up for it. Thompson for 3. Ford is on the board. 96 points. An offensive explosion for Puerto Rico. Ortiz on the runway. That basket's going to count. But it's academic. Puerto Rico moves on to the finals. And the party continues into Sunday. .78 the final score of this one. And El Choli Arena at full throat right now. Final numbers here. And let's just take in the sights and sounds. This is beautiful.
Numbers don't even matter. Numbers do not matter. It's the energy in here right now. You just gotta feel it. You hear it. It's buzzing. I'm getting chills.
Mexico will leave the floor knowing they gave their all in this game. They came up with a big win over Cote d'Ivoire. They just ran out of gas here against a very game Puerto Rican squad who are tough to beat at home. And now Puerto Rico move on to the finals Sunday night. And what a game it will be. What an atmosphere we will have here. 12,000 plus tonight. It was 12,000 plus on Thursday night in their big win against Italy. And they're 1 win away from a ticket to Paris in the Olympic Games. Standing in their way is Lithuania. Party atmosphere here in San Juan. And as Javon said, it's the type of stuff that gives you goosebumps. It's time to dance, Jose. It's time to dance. The highlights from the final quarter in a 20-point victory for Puerto Rico. And now we know, Lithuania, Puerto Rico in the finals, Javon. What a game it will be. Tomorrow night, this atmosphere is going to be incredible. We know 12,000 Puerto Ricans are showing up. We know 500 Lithuanians are showing up. And it's going to be great. And I can't wait. So here's how it goes on Sunday. The championship Sunday here in the Olympic qualifying tournament. We know Puerto Rico and Lithuania playing here in San Juan. How about the Bahamas taking on Spain in Spain? How about Croatia taking on Greece in Greece? And how about Brazil taking on Latvia in Latvia? 4 great games coming your way. Only 4 teams will punch their ticket to the Paris Games. It's party time here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Celebration as the host nation makes it to the finals. They'll take on Lithuania. And one ticket remaining here for one team will be left standing here in their journey to Paris and the Olympic Games. Two games we saw today, two great games. 88-64, Lithuania got by Italy. Puerto Rico defeating Mexico 98-78. Your final is now set. Lithuania, Puerto Rico, here for a trip to Paris. We'll see you tomorrow. For Javon Shepard, I'm Carlin Day. Good night from San Juan.